We are Emilia Nene,
and Silviana Carter,
the founders of Feel and Grow Rich project and the authors of the upcoming book called Feel and Grow Rich.
It is a great honor to introduce you to
Travon
Taylor, founder and president of L.I.O.N. LLC, international speaker, author, and financial strategist.
Welcome, Travon.
Thank you so much, you guys. It's so great to be here. I'm honored to be able to be here and speak with you guys and your audience, and hopefully I have some great information that can really help out so many people. So that's what I'm here for.
Great.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your background for our audience?
Yeah, sure. So obviously my name is Travon Taylor. Okay, I'm from Los Angeles, California, the United States, and was born and raised there. I joined the military when I was 17 years old, and I spent 12 and a half years in the United States Marines. During that time, I was deployed to Iraq on 3 occasions, actually. But a lot of that time is when I learned a lot about leadership values and things of that nature, and really knowing how to work with people and just be a great leader and knowing how to communicate with individuals. So after I spent my time in the military, after 12 and a half years, I became a youth leader in the Los Angeles, California area. And then during that time, I also became a got in law enforcement. So while I was in law enforcement, that's when I wrote my book. Then that led to traveling and speaking about my book, because the book became a bestseller. And it just things just kind of took off from there. And, I really have to lay it down, give credit to my foundation from my parents and also from the Marine Corps, what the leadership values it taught me. And it's just, the rest is history where I've come from there. And it opened up so many doors. The book opened up so many doors for me in meeting a lot of great people, a lot of people that taught me so much. And it just took me from level to level to level. So, so that's pretty much is all my background now. And, I'm still going. I still a lot of things I want to accomplish. So I'm just excited to, to help people from where I am now and help them get to where they want to go as well.
Amazing. What inspired you to write the book?
Well, I saw when I was growing up, there was a lot of individuals who, and I didn't know it at the time, until later on when I started realizing that I was around a lot of people who had a mindset of not being able to accomplish. They believe that they are stuck in what they were given. So they kind of have the mindset of saying like, hey, well, this is the hand that I'm dealt in my life. And this is where I'm at. And, I don't know how to do this or that. So I won't even try. I won't even attempt to accomplish these certain goals because they're out in the clouds and I'll never get there. And so, at the time, I kind of had that mindset somewhat too, because that's what I'm around. Sometimes we're products of our environment. And if we don't learn how to break out from that, that will, you can get stuck in that and, and never try to pursue your dreams. You can never think outside of what's in your immediate, environment, and it keeps you stuck. So as I got older and I started learning more about your mindset, more about how to achieve certain goals and thinking bigger and dreaming bigger, it became a passion for me to teach people like, yes, you can break out from the status quo. You can break out from just your daily environment that you've been used to. You can think bigger. You can accomplish your dreams. And it became a passion for me to be able to help people in that mindset, not only just the mindset portion, but also to help them, to give them something tangible to help them make it to that next level, so that's what really inspired me to write the book. And it's just that passion to help people to get out of that mindset. Yes.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
What can you tell us about your book?
Well, the book is called Success Chasing You. And the foundation of it, the reason why I named it Success Chasing You is because a lot of people, when they do want to, accomplish certain goals, what they do is they go outside, looking for certain things. So they'll jump into all these little, I won't say opportunities, but they'll jump into all these, oh, I want to sell that, or how about I do this, or how about I do that. So they're jumping into all these little things. So, and not realizing that everything that they need to have success in their life is already inside of them. They don't have to go looking outside of themselves to find success. It's already written in your DNA. You just need someone to help you discover it and pull it out of you. So that's why it's called Success Chasing You, because if you position yourself appropriately and you position yourself, then success will find you. You don't have to go looking for it in everything and, what these trends and that trend or whatever the case is. Success is already inside of you. So it really lays that foundation on how for you to position yourself in life for success to be able to find you and find your true purpose, your calling, and your passions. And that is your superpower. Helping people find their superpower so success could chase them. And that's what the book is, the foundations of the book.
Awesome.
Amazing.
What are your top 3 priorities in life?
Well, I would say, first of all, I would say spiritually. So, I definitely believe, in a higher powers. I definitely believe, in meditation and prayer. I would say that's number 1 for myself personally. Number 2, then I would go into my mental aspect, being strong, being motivated, making sure that, I have the mindset to be, to have that positive attitude and to consistently, look for, towards my goals and be an example, because it's very important to me that you start with the inside and then everything on the outside will fall into place when you make sure you take care of yourself. So that's why I always say mentally first. Then at that point, then I would say family. Then, because like I said, if I take care of myself and I'm in good shape, I'm in good health, and my mind is good, I can now be an example for my children. I can teach my children. They can watch me. Then then I'm able to consistently take care of them, appropriately. Have you ever been on an airplane when you're flying on a plane and they give the safety information? They say, well, if there's low cabin pressure, as far as oxygen goes, the oxygen mask will come down. Well, make sure that you put the oxygen on yourself and then help your children. A lot of people would try to help their children, but they're messed up. And how can you help them if you're messed up? Right? So if you can't breathe, you're going to panic and you're not going to be able to get the mask on them. And then you see what I'm saying? So you have to be in control, put your mask on. Now you can breathe. Now you can help the next person. So that's why I always believe in making sure that you take care of yourself, and then everything else will fall into place. Family, friends, and everything outside of you. So those are my 3 priorities, I believe.
Perfect. Wow.
What are the habits that led to your success?
You said, what are the, one more time?
What are the habits that led to your success?
Habits, I would pretty much say respect of time a lot. Time. A lot of people don't respect time enough. I think this is something that a foundation that I got from, being in the military, I think, because you always have to be on time. Wherever you go, you have to be on time. And the thing is, I learned how to respect time. So it was so important for me to always need to be on time to where I say I was going to be a man of my word, things of that nature. These are little habits, making, so that includes so many different things. The time you get up in the morning, right? Understanding that I have so much time in a day, to accomplish certain things. So one of the biggest things I would have to say is just a total respect of time, always watching, okay, this is how much time I have to do this. You know, I need to spend time, you know, personal time, spiritual time, time with my family, time that I'm going to be working on my business. So I would say like just making sure that I had my time under control and that I controlled my time.
Awesome.
Because that's all we have in life is time.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know, Travon, that we tend to become those who we admire? Who do admire the most?
Wow. There's a lot of names that I can put out there. I think one of the biggest names I would like to say at this point is Grant Cardone. I have a lot of individuals that I do personally, you know, I know personally that I really look up to. You know, I mean, I can say some names like John Shin, you know, there's, you know, he's a multimillionaire who started from the bottom and taught me so much, you know. But as far as publicly, I know a lot of people may know the names. I would say definitely like Grant Cardone, because I know his whole story. I know where he came from and what he's doing right now to help so many people is I think is absolutely amazing. And I mean, the man is brilliant. Like he's so brilliant, you know. Like I said, there's many names, but I can definitely put him probably at the top of my list is Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone.
Wow,
Excellent. Travon, what keeps you awake at night?
Wow. Well, the excitement of the goals that I set, you know, for the next day. And when I have a new goal or something new that I want to accomplish or do, or, you know, that excites me. And sometimes it keeps me awake at night because my brain is always going, because sometimes, you know, during the day, a lot of things can be busy. So we don't have a lot of time to think about a lot of things. But in the still of the night, when everything is quiet, right? And you're laying down in bed, you know, and then your mind can actually start going because it's kind of free from a lot of distractions, you know. So, you know, next thing you know, your mind is racing about, oh, I can do this and that, because sometimes the greatest ideas come when you're in that quiet time, right? When you're in bed and you can't shut your mind off. And, you know, you get so excited about like, oh, now I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, you know? So I would just say the goals, you know, that I've set for either that next day or something that I'm looking for the next, you know, year and a half, anything, like all that stuff starts lining up and going crazy in my head sometimes right before bed. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh, keeps me up all night. But there's a funny thing about that is I still am refreshed and excited the next day. You know, so,
Wow.
you know, because of that, because, you know, it gives me energy. It gives me so much energy, you know, to being able to dream, to move towards your goal, to accomplish. It gets you up every morning, you know, and that's to me, that's very, very exciting.
Great.
Great.
What advice would give to someone starting out?
Wow. Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Get a mentor and don't give up, because the people who starting out, you know, sometimes they may have unrealistic expectations for things to just work out the first time they try something. So, I mean, I would say almost three things. The first thing is, number one, is get a mentor. Obviously, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself and get around people who will believe in you and your dream. So that's why I would say a mentor that is already there and is accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish. He's there to help you and he's there to be an example for you, to see that it can be done, number one. And he's there to also inspire you and motivate you to keep you going. And also having the mentor just puts all this actually all together. It just covers everything. But, you know, to understand, like, hey, do not quit. You may have to make adjustments along the way. You know, you may have some trips and you may have some minor setbacks. I won't even call them failures, setbacks, but you never let that stop you. You know, when you look at all of the people who succeeded so much in life, it's because they failed or had setbacks so much during that journey that they use these setbacks as as lessons for them. So as they, okay, so I know next time what to do. You know, hey, I messed up. That's great. A lesson learned. Let me get back up, dust myself off, get back with my mentor, and consistently move forward. And that's how, you know, that's the biggest thing that I would really tell people starting off is you just need to get a mentor and have the mindset of I'm not going to give up no matter what.
Awesome.
Perfect.
What was something that you had to give up to get where you are today?
Oh, wow. A lot. So, so it's, you know, initially when you're starting off, you know, a lot of people say, well, you have to create a balance, right? And sometimes I struggle with when people say that to an extent. You do have to have a balance. But sometimes when you're trying to get, let me give you a perfect example. When you're trying to get a plane off of the ground, it takes a lot more energy to get the plane off the ground than when it's coasting in the sky. They can just almost shut the plane off and it's just floating right along. But to get the momentum going and the plane to get that pull to get up off the ground and get to that altitude that they need to go, it takes a lot of energy. Most of the energy of the whole flight comes from the takeoff. It is the same difference when you're trying to start, you know, a business, right? You have to give a lot of your attention starting off towards that business, and you might have to sacrifice a lot of friends who are still in that same mindset, you know, they may not have the same vision you have. You have to that's why I said you got to get around people that will consistently support your vision. And you don't have a lot of time to waste, you know, going out and just hanging out with friends and, you know, spending, you know, extra money that needs to be going into your business and, you know, those party nights that you used to probably have, you know, you have to give a lot of that stuff. You have to give a lot of that stuff up. Doesn't mean you give it up 100%, but you need to dramatically reduce that. You know, of course, a lot of people have relationships. You don't have to give up your relationship, but that person that you're with and the people you're around have to understand that you have a vision and you have a goal and say, hey, I'm going to give myself 6 months, 1 year, or a year and a half or more, whatever, to get this business off the ground. And, you know, I need you to understand. And if they don't understand, you're just going to have to let them go, because your vision and your dreams are more important, you know, than this individual who just wants to keep you on the ground. You know, so the biggest thing I would definitely say you probably have to give up is a lot of relationships and a lot of, you know, time of a lot of leisure time that you used to have, you know, and saving money, all that stuff comes into it, you know. So there's quite some things you have to be the judge of that, you know, as an individual on what may be stopping you or slowing you that will hinder you from getting that plane off the ground. You might have to drop some baggage because it might be too heavy to fly.
Right.
Yes. Important. Wow. What is the story behind your success?
Wow. Well, the story behind it, I would say, is a lot of it, like I say, you know, during the military, I've had some, you know, some setbacks when I was trying to be an entrepreneur. First time I tried to really, really be an entrepreneur was back in the early 2000s when I bought some property. I bought 7 houses during that time. I was in the military still at that time, and I really wanted to, get, my entrepreneurial journey off the ground. And a little bit right after that is when it was around 2006, 2005, 2006. And right after that is when the big market crash happened with all, and then I end up losing all of the houses and, and I was like, yeah, oh yes. And my credit took a horrible hit and the banks were calling me and it was just like, oh my gosh. And, it's a lot of dusting off I had to do over that time, but I kept my, you know, I kept the dream alive in my head, you know, and I knew there was something that I needed, I wanted to accomplish. And so the you know, the story was just, you know, going through that and just keeping my mind, you know, focused on my dream. And then, you know, setback after setback. Unfortunately, in 2011, I went through a divorce. And then during that time, I really was saying, like, what is it that I want to accomplish? What is it that I want to do for, you know, for me? What do I want to, you know, accomplish? And as I kept, you know, trying different things, listening to, you know, motivational speakers and trying to learn this and learn that, you know, being a forever student, I would say as well. Always be willing to learn, always be humble and understand. One of the things I always tell people is the first step in being the smartest person in the room is understanding that you will never be the smartest person in the room, because somebody there always knows something that you don't know. You can learn from anybody and everybody, including children, you know, you know, so you know, I just always kept my ears open and was very humble to listen to what anybody had to, you know, to say. And sometimes, even if it's the wrong idea, I can still draw something from what they said. So even though they may be wrong, I can still learn from you. I can still learn from someone who is wrong. You know, it's always something to learn. So I would say the story behind my success was just being open and ready and listening, ready for the universe to consistently teach me constantly all the time, you know, and just not being afraid to fail and, you know, and get back up, dust off and try again, you know. I think that's one of the biggest stories, I would just say, behind my success. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wonderful.